Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to another awesome episode of On the Throttle with Jackie Van Ham and my buddy Josh Trokey out here bringing you all of the newest news going on in motorcycles and power sports. As always, I'm out here on the road at a lobby hotel where the Wi-Fi is strong enough, bringing you today's program. We had to jump on because we've got a lot of great bikes that were revealed at EICMA in Milan this past week, and we wanted to kind of do a little bit of a roundup of some of the things that really caught our eye, right, Josh? So, for my neck of the woods, I'm going to touch on some new Zeros that are definitely heroes and a new bike from Kawasaki, sort of, as well as a little bit of the turmoil surrounding the Royal Enfield Himalayan electric bike. That's right, you heard it here first. Josh, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
So there was a manufacturer a while ago that it was rumored they were going to start a very cool new motorcycle, and they abandoned it, but someone else picked it up. So we're going to talk about that one, which we are darn sure is pretty sure going to make it here. And then another inline twin. Remember years ago when everyone made fun of inline twins? They're like, there's another inline twin that's an engine from something else that's coming in something else that's also going to be very fun.
Very vague, very mysterious.
That's
We're
what I
all going to
do.
have to wait and see what Josh is bringing to the program after this word from our sponsor. Welcome back, everybody. As I mentioned at the very top of the program, my first story for today is talking about how Zero is a whole bunch of hero going on over there because Zero Motorcycle, the e-bike company, released a handful of very cool bikes over at EICMA just last week, and they've made some modifications to their lineup. So let's go ahead and jump on in and talk about the very cool bikes coming from Zero Motorcycles. The new Zero S, DS, and DSR were released just last week at EICMA. The entry-level Zero S is all grown up now, moving to the same platform as its popular SRF and SRS brothers. In fact, there is now very little visual distinction between the S and the SRF, which becomes obvious when switching between the two models on Zero's website. This is not a bad thing at all. Gives an S an updated look with the same trellis frame as the SRF, as well as a good family resemblance throughout the S line. So what I thought this was interesting about is it means that they are going to be eliminating some of the lineup. They're kind of cleaning it up a little bit. So I thought that that was a really very smart move. And this bike is going to be, let's go ahead and chat about it a little bit. It's one of the great looking bikes on your screen. So there's now an electric motorcycle that suits everybody's needs and topping the list of the all-new Model S that is fitted with a brand new motor, new battery pack, and updated styling. The Model S now comes with a 14.4 kilowatt battery pack, which offers twice the capacity of the previous models. The new motor offers much improved output with claimed power increasing from 46 to 68 horsepower and torque increasing from 78 to 97 foot-pound torque. Compared to the 2023 S, top speed is claimed 104 miles per hour. Claimed ranges are 154 miles in urban use, 113 miles in mixed urban and highway use, and 101 miles of highway range. So this is going to be the naked Model S, which I thought was very cool. It's the naked bike. This guy on your screen, however, is the brand new DSR. Follows in the footsteps of the DSR-X that was released last year. It's got that large adventure-style fairing, and it's a big departure from the bike it replaces. And I thought this was just super sharp and really good looking. The claimed weight of this bike is 524 pounds. The DSR will be available in silver for $19,995. It has a claimed 155-mile range with 100-mile mixed use and has about 80 horsepower. So the new DS is the ideal gateway model into Zero's dual sport lineup. Like the S, the DS gets a new battery. It's got some updated 68 horsepower going on and 97 foot-pound torque. Claimed in-town range is 144. Anyway, you get the drill. I just wanted to go through some of these photos really fast and just take a gander at them because this is such a styling change. This is going to be the S on your screen right now, which is the naked bike. And then last but not least in this lineup, which really caught my eye, is the much smaller guy, and it's the FXE. And this is at $12,495. I thought this was just really, really sharp and really good looking bike. And I just thought that these were really some nice styling changes. And again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the program, they kind of cleaned up their model lineup a little bit and made it a little bit simpler and a little bit more easy to understand what's going on. And I love the look of that new adventure styling. This guy right here on your screen right now with that big adventure fairing for, $20,000 bike. This is definitely playing in the space of like the BMW GS and in the Pan America land. Josh, what do you think about the cool looking lineup from Zero Motorcycles?
I mean, Zero's needed to do an update for a while. They've done the same thing for quite a long time. Now, they've always updated some of their technology, but the fact that they've updated some of the bikes to this newer styling, much, much, much needed. Now, I did, and we had it as one of my stories here a few weeks ago when we did the test on the DSRX. I think it's a great bike. Zero is in a good spot. Zero has stuck to their guns. They're like, look, we're going to make what people want. Even if it's not the brightest, sunniest, like halo thing, they're going to make what the average person wants and what the average person is going to ride. And they've been super successful with it. So as long as they stay in that realm, I mean, Zero's going to do great. The fact that they refreshed and updated some things, so now it looks a little less 2010, I dig.
Yes, I've thought for a couple of years now they really needed a little bit of a styling boost.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. As far as like the technology, they are slow and steady, and they keep on keeping on. And the prices you're seeing the prices starting to come down, which is like this has been the bar to entry for years for e-bikes for these larger e-moto platform. So I'm really excited to see the styling update and the price going down a little bit. It's all win-win for me for the folks over at Zero. Josh, what you got going on for your first story today?
So for me, we talked a little bit a while back. There was some speculation that KTM was going to come out with a 450 adventure bike in a twin. Well, then those plans got tossed. But KTM has a wonderful relationship with CFMoto, who has been doing quite a few things. And this week, CFMoto unveiled the 450 MT as their new adventure entry at EICMA. It is a 450 parallel twin. Once again, we talked about parallel twins. Used to hate them. Now everyone's like, oh, parallel twins are the best thing. That being said, this is much more of an off-road oriented bike than any platform really CFMoto has, especially the parts that this is going to be pulling from is going to be this 450 SS and the 450 NK. Now this, like I said, it is a 450cc parallel twin with 270-degree crank pins, so that gives you that nice growl. It's going to have a good aggressive sound. Plus, you guys know that is done for that tire recovery in that. This is going to crank out approximately 44 horsepower, a little bit on the top side of that. The nice thing about this is going to have dual counterbalancers. So even with that 270-degree offset on the crank pins, you are not attaching your hands to a jackhammer. Great idea with this. This is going to have a variety of electronic rider aids, traction control, ABS. Both are supplied by Bosch. This is one area where, okay, look, it doesn't matter where the bike's made. They're all buying this from other companies and just installing it. So as long as the programming's right on this, which I'm pretty sure it will be, you're in good shape with those items. This is going to ring in at 386 pounds is all. So it's not a featherweight,
Woo!
but it's definitely not heavy. It's going to be running 7.8 inches up front of Kayaba suspension. It's got a 32.2-inch seat height, which for anything in an adventure bike is really, really low. Couple of the other cool things with this that they have done on this bike, it is cross-spoked 21-inch front, 18-inch reels. Now, with those being cross-spoked, you guessed it, this comes from the factory with tubeless tires. So no longer do you need to carry around tubes like me and tire irons. Just take a couple of plugs and an air compressor, and hopefully you're in good shape. So this is going to be competing with the new Honda NX500, which is priced right around like $7,000. So there's no pricing released on this yet, but I'm assuming that it is going to be in that same range. It is expected to be into dealerships early in 2024. That being said, this is kind of an interesting thing because this has a lot of the stuff that people wish the KTM Adventure 390 had. To me, this is a unique spot. It's a unique bike, and CFMoto has been expanding their lineup. Everyone that I saw that had looked at this bike and had sat on this bike and felt and been around this bike while at EICMA said fit, finish, quality, all of that looks spot on. Jacqui, what are your thoughts on CFMoto doing the adventure gig?
Yeah, I set this bike aside for you because I knew you were going to want to jump in on it.
Yes.
But I absolutely was checking out this motorcycle. This was one of my favorite bikes that came out of EICMA. I
Same.
love the styling of it. The very first image you put up is that cool retro aqua. I know talking about paint is kind of a ding dong thing, but it just looked so cool to me. Look at this. Like that to me is
It's a sharp bike.
amazing. I love this. And then as I read into the specs of it, as you already touched on, CFMoto has a great relationship with just about every dang manufacturer out here. So they're clearly putting out quality. This is a great bike, great fit and finish, doesn't surprise me. The styling did surprise me a little bit because I think it's very fresh and very cool. And sometimes we don't see that from these companies overseas that are just cranking out house brands for other folks because they're counting on their design team. So I thought that this looked sharp. I'm sure it is just a handful of fun. I love the weight of it, and I love that there was like a low setting or a low option for this bike as well, which if you're a regular watcher of the program, 5'2" me and 5' something Josh, we both kind of occasionally enjoy a bike with a low suspension or low height setting. So we're both into that. Anyway, I thought this was great. Huge high fives for the folks at CFMoto. I thought this was just a total win. Excellent. So thanks for bringing that to the program, Josh. I can't wait to see this live and in person, and I can't wait to hear about the price. The price tag on this is what I'm really, really questioning, and I can't wait to hear what they got to say. As you know, if you're a regular watcher of the show, also, we always bring you the breaking news. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button you are not going to want to miss when we bring you all of this breaking news. Now, my next story for today is going to be talking about a new motorcycle from Kawasaki. Sort of. But before we get into that story, let's go ahead and have a word from our mid-show sponsor.
What's up, Power Sports and Harley Davidson dealerships? How's your lead response time? Are you quick on the draw or slow as molasses? I'm Joe with another pit stop pointer that'll make you sell more fun. Here's the deal. Reply to leads within 60 seconds and your chances of closing grow to 391%. So either lead the pack or eat some dust. So rev up your response time. Quick replies mean more sales. Go to pitstoppointers.com for more insights and stay tuned for the next Pit Stop Pointer.
All right, so my second story for today is talking a little bit of Kawasaki, sort of, because in 2019, Kawasaki acquired Italian luxury boutique bespoke motorcycle brand Bimota. So the Bimota folks put out a brand new bike at EICMA this year. No big surprise. The Italian brands always come hot and heavy to their home Italian show. And this is the bike on your screen right now. It is indeed an adventure tour bike from the folks at Bimota, and it is powered by, no surprise here, Kawasaki. Let's go ahead and jump on into this story. So the new Bimota Tera is a supercharged adventure tour bike. And Bimota revealed this Tera concept in 2022, and we have been waiting around to see what was going to happen with it. Now, finally, a year later or so, they have revealed this bike at EICMA. It is absolutely beautiful. It is an adventure tour bike, and it is powered by Kawasaki. The new Tera makes use of technology from Japanese manufacturer Kawasaki. At its heart lies the 999cc liquid-cooled, fuel-injected inline four-cylinder engine, complete with a supercharger. That's right, when you got an adventure really, really super fast. The result here is a tour that pumps out an outlandish 197 horsepower and 101 pound-foot torque. Of course, with this much power on tap, Bimota has made sure that the Tera is equipped to handle this performance. Suspension consists of a unique front end borrowed from the Tessie, complete with an Erlins TTX 36 gas-charged shock with external reservoir. A similar setup handles suspension duties at the rear also. No shock here. Again, this Bimota brand, if you're not familiar, this is all like boutique luxury. This is the best of the best of the best. This has close to 200 horsepower on tap, as it just got done saying. So it means it should also be stopping at a moment's notice. This comes with some huge, big, fat Brembo brakes on it as well. And let's talk about some of the styling here. This very muscular, very boxy design, really, really sharp, really good looking. There was not a lot of chatter floating around about money or price tags or things and stuff. This is going to be a very exclusive bike with a very exclusive price tag. And I thought this was just really very cool. Josh, what do you got to say about this absolutely outlandish, almost 200 horsepower adventure tour bike from the folks at Bimota?
I've always liked Bimota. I mean, it's, to me, I still remember decades ago walking into a dealership where there was a Ducati 996 SPS, an Aprilia RSV SP sitting there, and a Bimota SB8R, which was powered by the Suzuki TL1000S motor years ago. Still lust after them. Bimota is like you said, it's very bespoke. They are the most Italian bikes that you will ever come across that aren't Italian powered ever. Shout out to my buddy Brian, who has owned one. He's a regular watcher here. This is something that is a departure from normal Bimota. But to me, there's a market for it. These are beautiful bikes. They put all sorts of crazy stuff on them. If you want to be different, this is a great way to do it.
If you want to be different and you have got the wallet to back it
Correct.
up, yeah, this is.
If you have to ask, it's too much.
Yeah, honestly, that is kind of their mindset, and I love
Correct.
them about it. I love that it is at this echelon, and true motorcycle dorks will absolutely recognize this brand. They will absolutely recognize that logo, and they know what is happening here in a heartbeat. Yeah, this burnt down EICMA for sure. This was a real head turner. Again, I did not catch any numbers for price tags, but I'm sure she's going to be a real clutch your pearls type moment. But totally justified. It's an absolute stunner. I also wanted to touch on, though, in the second half of my story, while we were talking about interesting, different, odd duck a little bit adventure bikes out here, another motorcycle that was at EICMA this past month that's in the adventure range, and I'm only going to touch on it for a second because it's not a real thing yet, is the fact that Royal Enfield unveiled not one, but two Himalayan bikes. One, the 450 that we talked about a week or so ago. Two, the electric Himalayan that's on your screen right now. That's right. They have been test bedding. This is a prototype. This is not real, not yet, but an electric Himalayan. Now, the internet is absolutely up in arms about this electric Himalayan. I kind of get why, because for the last handful of years now, the Royal Enfield folks have been banging on, and they did at the launch that I was just at, and I flat out asked them why there's not a bigger engine in this, and they were like, the Himalayan is meant to be a single cylinder, lightweight, adventure, dual sport type bike. That's where we want to keep it. That's where we want to park it. And then this happens with a big, huge, fat, heavy battery in it. So I kind of am wondering what this is all about. But again, this is just the folks at Royal Enfield using this as a test bed because they are going to be going into EV. We have talked about those stories here on the program over the last 12 months or so. I've brought you all sorts of cool spy pics and cool things that have been floating around, as we do here on the program, always breaking news. So this is not necessarily a real thing yet. So we're all going to have to wait and see. But that's also what was launched at EICMA from the folks at Royal Enfield. And people were sure turned up about it. Josh, what do you think about an electric Himalayan?
This is two things. This is, one, it's PR. We've got this thing. We've created this thing. Let's get some marketing out of it. Two, they're learning from this. Throw this out there. Look, they haven't done anything in the electric space. This is how you're going to learn about it. So why not? You've spent all this money to do this. Get the marketing dollars out of it. This is not coming out next year. I will put $5 down on that. But this, to me, what a beautiful thing. They're testing. They want to advance. They're doing things they've never done. I like seeing it from them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, Josh, what you got for your second story today?
So there is a new sport-ish bike on the town in the Suzuki GSX-8R. It is always weird to put the number before the last letter on this. As an old school guy, I don't know how we're going to say Gixxer anymore. But that being said, this is based on the GSX-8S, naked bike. I mean, remember kind of what they did with the SV650 and the SV650S? I think it's very much along these same lines. Now, something that's interesting about this is the same 776 270 degree crank. I believe I talked about that earlier, that produces 81.8 horsepower and 57 foot-pounds of torque with a 9,500 RPM redline as the V-Strom. It is. It doesn't appear that they have changed anything from the V-Strom DE, and that bike has proven to have great road manners. With this, there are a number of electronic rider aids. You've got traction control, you've got ABS. This does have a ride-by-wire, which gives it 3 ride modes. There are 3 traction control modes, and there is one, so I'm going to do this again. There are 3 engine ride modes, there are 3 traction control modes, and there's 1 2-direction quick shift. Say that 5 times fast. With this, it has a wet weight of 452 pounds, which not that bad. It could stand to go on a diet, but it fits right in the right area where it's supposed to. There is Showa suspension on both the front and rear. The SFB or the SFFBP. Also say that again 5 times fast. Upside down, forks in front. All the suspension on this is only preload adjustable. Does this sound familiar? Like SV familiar? Yes, it does. This motor, it is like I said, is exactly the same, whether it's here, whether it's in the 8S, or whether it's in the DE. So many letters and numbers here. It is expected to be available in dealerships early 2024. It has a base MSRP of $9,439. It comes in blue, white, and black, as you see here. Now, this is very much Suzuki's response to Yamaha's R7, because, hey, Yamaha, I believe, has a 700-ish cc engine that is also in a couple of different... Yeah, it's in quite a few bikes. What I find interesting about that is this is slightly more expensive. The R7 is $9,200. This is $9,439. The R7 72 horsepower. As I said, this one's 81. This, once again, this is in that area for people that want a sport bike but don't necessarily feel the need to just throw their driver's license out the window the first time that a police officer comes up behind them. This gives you plenty of options. It's enough power to have fun. Now, the thing, looking at this photo right here, the thing that struck me is that rear fender looks strange to me. It's like they ran out of back seat and decided to make a really long fender. It's a weird look for me, but I think it's okay. Yeah. The other thing that I'm going to say with this is that's different from Yamaha's R7. There is already a catalog of items available for this, such as saddlebags, frame sliders, billet levers. Suzuki is saying, look, you want to do the track, you want to do some touring, this is the mid-range bike for you. So that all being said, do you think they nailed it, Jacqui? And what are your thoughts on that rear fender?
Well, thank you for going ahead and knowing what I was going to chat about. So, this looks actually, to me, this looks like a really bad Photoshop. But I get when they have to sell bikes to the public, this tail section has to go on this bike. It's the first thing the customer is going to remove.
Correct.
And put a tail tidy on here. You know it.
Correct.
I know it. It just is what it is. It's how the law works. You know, the man, right? So, I think it's smart to be in this space. I think we're seeing, as we chat about, it feels like almost every single week, the middleweight space is just becoming so intense. It's becoming so crowded. There's so much interest in here. I feel like because partially of COVID, we got so many new riders and new motorcyclists. I feel like maybe this is why the middleweight space is starting to blow up, because we got so many people in at maybe smaller bikes, and we have to move them through the product range, right? We have to kind of keep them in the story, keep them progressing. That maybe 2 years later, this is why middleweight is going bananas. What do you think, Josh?
I think that's part of it, but I think the other part of it is too, I think there's a lot of people realizing that, hey, I do not need 200 plus horsepower. So I think both your point and my point are adding up to why that this space is becoming such I mean, such a great space in terms of the number of motorcycles available. You're getting people that are moving up from something smaller, and you're getting other people that are like, I do not need 200 horsepower of nonsense to try and manage.
I do not need to go to jail.
Correct. That's exactly it. This is not
Well,
Grand
right
Theft
on.
Auto.
Yeah, and it's not surprising to see Suzuki jumping into this category with a totally
Sure.
established platform. It's what everybody's doing, man. If it ain't broke, don't fix
Yep.
it. It saves money. Just
You
put a
got
different pack. Just put it in a different package and send it on down the road. So with that, it's talking about sending on down the road. The reason why the past two programs I've been coming at you from some weird random hotel lobby is I am out here recording a rad web series that we're going to be releasing here on Motorcycle Power Sports News. Again, make sure you follow along, like, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube. Go ahead and do it because this is an epic road trip adventure that we are having out here. I'm riding bikes from the middle part of America. We are ending in Las Vegas, which is where I'm at right now, in celebration as well as a little bit of promotion of AIM Expo. AIM Expo is the wonderful industry show that is happening in February. If you do not have this on your calendar, you need to go ahead, go to AIM Expo's website, get the information, book that hotel. It's also right before the Super Bowl, so you need to get that hotel like yesterday. And come on out and join us out here. It is an amazing show. And this web series is kind of talking about it's a road to get here, as well as I'm calling it like the best dang motorcycle road trip ever because we have had a ball. We just rode through Mount Zion yesterday. We went to the Grand Canyon. We were at Roswell, New Mexico. Anyway, to check out all of our adventures, you've got to go watch the program. We'll be launching that around December, January time, so make sure you hit notifications on. Anyway, that's it for today's program, everybody. We will see you next week. Ride safe. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week, everybody.